Welcome back to the Road to WAC Vegas. Excited to have Seattle U women's basketball head coach Suzy Barcomb on with us. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great and just really happy to be on with you guys. So thanks for having me.
Of course. I see you're obviously at home right now. What is the COVID lifestyle like in Seattle now?
I think Seattle is really getting a handle on it. I will say we have our own little Seattle University bubble, and I think our athletics department and even Seattle University has just done a tremendous job of putting in some pretty stiff protocols and trying to keep everybody safe and sound. So there's nothing normal about it. You wake up and it is Groundhog's Day and you can't go out to eat and, you're just, it's kind of a little bit insane, beyond cabin fever, I think sometimes. And my heart goes out to the student athletes, especially the rookies. They're not getting to experience what this amazing thing is called college athletics on a college campus. And I'm just really anxious to get back to some normalcy.
What have you been able to do to help those rookies kind of get that college experience?
Yeah, so it's been difficult, because even when we go on the road, so we were at Utah Valley and you're not allowed to have more than so many people. We're getting ready to go to Chicago. And so we're doing film, but you can't have more than 10 people in it film at the same time because you can't. So there's so many strict regulations on us that, you can't have a bonding team dinner like we used to do. So I noticed I hang out a little bit more after practice and there's a little bit more chit chat. So a lot of FaceTiming, and everybody knows me. I hate FaceTime. I have never FaceTime more in my life with my student athletes than I do this year. So getting used to that and just trying to talk to them about normal things, how's school going, all of those types of things, and just checking in. But our university, like I said, is doing a good job. We're still going to have a faculty appreciation night. So yesterday we were sending out all the invites to our faculties. Albeit via Zoom, it's still, we're trying to engage people. So doing fun little things like that.
There's pros and cons, right? It's kind of nice to be able to sit on your couch and do it, but at the same time, missing that like actual interaction with people.
Yeah, I think this age group really needs physical interaction with one another. We are a phone generation, and I just think being able to hang out with someone on the couch goes a long way. And I just don't think people recognize the importance of those little intimate interactions. And now they're missing, and it's very heightened. So I do think that impacts our student athletes.
Well, let's talk a little bit of basketball. You get the sweep over Tarleton last weekend. You held them only for 2-16 from the field in the fourth quarter. What emphasis had you put on defense in the fourth quarter?
Not just in the fourth quarter. We put a lot of emphasis on defending this year. We weren't very good at defending, and we talked about that after our Utah Valley series. There was times we just didn't defend really well, and so we're trying to put the emphasis on that, making sure we're really dialed in on our scouts and knowing who to give the shot up to, who not to give the shot up to, and just forcing tough shots. So the two key things for us is defense and rebounding. And we want to learn how to defend without fouling, and we haven't been very good at that. So we've been working on that as a staff.
Pretty stacked lineup with your team there, different women doing different things. And we've noticed just a lot of names there. And I would say, how would you say that the teamwork, and we talk a little bit about the COVID lifestyle, not being able to get everybody together, but the teamwork that is out on the floor, how has that helped this team so far this year?
We are a little bit deeper. I mean, we still have some injuries, and I think you're seeing a lot of different names also because our rookies are stepping up. So, we had Peyton Howard, who subbed in the Utah Valley series for Courtney, who is out with an injury. And then we switched it up to Irina this last weekend as well for Courtney. So, and we're just rotating and trying to find the right mix and matches and what works best with us. And some of the reason you're seeing new names is because we're in foul trouble. And so we are having to go a little deeper than we anticipated. But I think it's great to be deep. I think it's challenging to always have the same chemistry because your sub pattern impacts who does what. And so I think we still are working out those kinks a little bit more. And I think, this weekend coming up, going to Chicago, I think will be a really another good test for us because we are really young. I don't think people recognize how young we are. I mean, we have a transfer, but she's not been in the program. Kinsey was out with an ACL last year. So truthfully, we are young in experience on the court.
Well, you mentioned playing Chicago State this upcoming weekend. They've had limited playing time. What's one area that you hope to see improvement from the Tarleton game to this weekend?
I would like to see a better performance from Friday to Saturday. So at UVU, I think when they beat us on Friday night, I thought we came back with great urgency and a greater intensity level on Saturday. So I was pleased with that. Not pleased we didn't come away with a split. And then with Tarleton, we shot it incredible. I mean, we just shot lights out on Friday. And so I think our mentality was, well, it's easy to score against them. And then Saturday comes around, and everybody makes adjustments, and not everybody is going to shoot 57% from the floor. And so then I don't think we had the mental capacity to say, okay, our shots aren't falling. We need to grind it out. And I've talked to a lot of people about that. I think it's a little bit of what I call a COVID hangover. I think everybody is so stressed out in their mind, and we're just weary. I think it's really hard to dial up that kind of internal mindset. You've like, I've got to grind this out. But we're also learning how to play Friday, Saturdays. So that was only our second Friday, Saturday. So I hope to see growth in just how we approach our Saturday game at Chicago State.
It's the same type of style of play with WAC Vegas. Obviously, you go back to back to back. So how does that help you prepare for the tournament style play?
I think it's great. So I thought there were, two things about this schedule being set up. You're never on the road back to back. In previous years, that has happened. So academically, it's a blessing, and the fact that we're playing back to back, I do think that preps you for what will happen. And you don't know who you're going to play in the tournament, and so I think that will be beneficial. I think we're going to have a little bit different gaps. I know we have with Dixie opting out and Chicago State on the men's side. I think that bracket is going to be fluid until the WAC tournament, just to see who remains healthy. And that's our number one objective. All things said and done, we want to be healthy enough to play in the WAC tournament.
Well, Baller Bree, as her Twitter handle is third in the NCAA in assists. What's allowed her to be so dominant in that area?
Well, she comes from a JC program where she got to do everything. So she was in charge of the offense. So I think, she'll tell you that I'm always on her, and that's too crazy of a pass, and you're doing too much. And I tell her that she's going to kill me with the amount of dribbling she's doing. But that kid, and she's not a kid, she's a young woman, has such amazing court vision. And I think what makes her special is that she is a scorer as well. So she's not just point guard facilitating the offense. I do also think her twin, itty bitty Kinsey, I think those two play off each other. And so you have two speeds at the point guard position. And I think it bodes well for both of them, because a lot of other teams we play don't have that much speed in the 1 and 2 guard spot. She has really, really good vision, and our system helps her with that as well.
You mentioned Mackenzie Williams and the tearing of her ACL. How is she doing? Has she had any sort of issues with it at all?
It was back-to-back tears for her of the same knee. And so she came back, and I think she was contemplating, man, I don't know if this is worth it. But once she got back into the rehab, she's been doing well. I do think the back-to-back games are challenging for anybody who is dealing with injuries. I think the fatigue factor, and you're talking about a knee, and you're talking about the pounding Kinsey does, because Kinsey plays really hard. So we really try taking care of her on the Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays, and dial it back up a little bit more. So she's playing probably her best basketball since coming here, scoring really well, leading rebounder sometimes. She's doing great, and I just really don't expect much of a drop off between those two.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day, and best of luck traveling onto campus.
I appreciate it. Everyone stay safe out there, okay?
That's Suzy Barcomb, Seattle U women's basketball head coach. When we come back from break, we're going to take a look at the rest of the women's hoop schedule. We'll be right back.